This is the Sessions clock movement on a test stand. I'm going to put the crutch and the pallets on now. You slide on that post there, push it home, there it goes. I'll put the lock lever on it to hold it in place. Right, we've got the pallets and the crutch on now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wind up this spring. I wasn't able to wind it up before, simply because the crutch and the pallets weren't on. You can see the crutch moving there, so it means that the movement is in beat. I'll come in a tiny little bit closer on that so you can see it. This is a pendulum leader with a suspension spring on the top. We're going to put this on to the movement now. I'll hold the crutch and drop the tip into there, push it through, and then we'll align, wait till the movement runs down, drops into a deep slot. There we go, thank you. Now we'll put the suspension spring into this post here, under the minute. Oh, it's a bit tight. There we go, let's have a look and see. Goes the other side of the hammer. Now I'll put the bob on the bottom and we'll start the pendulum leader moving. There's the bob way down there. We'll come up and move in, and you'll be able to see the escape wheel turning. There it is. Right, so this movement will now stay here for 4 or 5 days while I check it to make sure that the timing is correct. But initially what I will do, I'll go and get the minute hand, I'll put that on, and we'll check that the strike side train is working correctly. This is a minute hand, so I'll put the minute hand on and then put on the knurl nut to hold the hand on. Right, I'll turn the minute hand round and we can watch the strike side of the clock working. The movement has just gone into warning, you saw that. The count lever is lifted out of a deep slot there, and the fly has done half a revolution and is caught. And as I turn this again, we'll go out of warning and the movement will start to strike. 1, 2, 3, 4 into a deep slot, and the movement stops working and the strike train stops striking. Right, I'll turn it round again. The minute hand, you'll notice that this movement doesn't strike the half hour. It only strikes the hour. This will go into warning in a moment. There it is, once again. Keep turning it and the strike train will start. Five o'clock. So what's happened there, the count lever has dropped into a deep slot on the count wheel. Though you can't see it, the lever has dropped into a deep slot on the maintenance cam, and on the third lever up the top here, on the lift lever, has caught up the pin that's on the warning wheel there. It has arrested it, and so those three things have now come into play, and that is why the movement has stopped striking. Once again you can see it, and I'll slow it down. Warning. Striking. Now we're going to look at the other pieces that are attached to the case. So I'll take some of that off, and there's still a big lump down here. So being a bit careful not to scratch everything, I'll remove some of that excess glue that's on there. And that is a lot smoother now than it was. Turn it over, check the other side. Not quite as bad, but there is still a little bit there, so I'll run the blade over it and level it off a little bit. Yeah, that's looking better. Not as good as it should be, but it's looking better. Alright, now we're going to use some of my Super Duper mineral oil and beeswax polish. Take the top off that. And we're going to polish up these couple of pieces and the timber frame around the glass that we saw before. So I'll get a little bit of polish, wax on my piece of cloth here, and slowly run up and down the full length of each of these pieces. Like so. Then turn it over. We'll do the inside along here. Up under the piece we've just cleaned up. So that's now two sides. We're now going to do the third side. The fourth side we don't need because that attaches to the side of the case. So we'll run up here, turning it round and running the full length of the piece of timber. We don't need very much on this. It just needs sufficient to get a little bit of a shine on it. Now I'll rub it again and down along the inside there. Right, that's the first one, nice little shine on it. Back to our polish. That's the first side, is this one here. Tiny bit of polish. Once again, run down the full length of the piece. Then on the inside, down under the big hook at that end. Then turn it over. And then the other side. Turn it round, rub over that tiny bit more. Alright, rubbing down the full length, then the inside, and then the outside. Okay, double the cloth over, run it down both sides. And on the inside. See what we've got, nice little shine there? Yes, lovely little shine. All right, that's the first couple of pieces. I'll put them aside. Now I'll get the bottom door with the sailing ship on it. Open those hinges up. Before I start, I'll put a little bit of General Clock oil on the hinge there, and the second one there. 1, 2, 3. Work it backwards and forwards a bit. That will definitely loosen up the hinge. I'll put a tiny bit more inside this one. It's a little bit tighter. That's better. The door will now open very easily. Alright, put the oil away. Now let's start running around the side of this door. We'll do the top of it first, rubbing the wax in. Turn it round to the next side. This will give the timber work a nice matte shine. We don't want it to be glossy because timber naturally is never glossy. And I'll run around the inside here on each of these pieces. and that side there. That'll remove any remaining dirt on it and also lift the colour. Right, now this side here we'll have to do. It will be exposed because that's the eye that the hook goes into to hold it closed. So we'll do that. We won't worry about the other sides. I'll do the bottom. We've done the rest, I might as well do the bottom. Run over that. The other side and top will be buried inside the case, and I'll run over where the hinges are. And then give it a final wipe off. You can see there's a nice little shine on there now. Looking very nice. Real shame about that break in the glass, but it's looking very nice. All right. I'll do the lighthouse section now. I'll do it offline because I'll be doing it exactly the same way as I did the door, and you've already seen how I've done that. So I'll run round the face and that bevel in there, and then those two sides. The rest you won't see because it sits inside the clock case. A huge thank you to my Patreon, YouTube and Ko-fi members who make this video possible. Without their kind help, I would not be able to keep this channel alive and continue to make these videos. I can't thank them enough. If you want to support my channel, join my Patreon, my YouTube or my Ko-fi page by clicking the link in the description below. Memberships start at $2.